I'm David Volk for Chin Music. Today's post, Project 2025, adds more bricks. All in all, it's just another brick in the wall. We don't need no Department of Education. Yes, you do, but we're cutting it anyways. We don't need no thought control, as long as it's woke. If it's not woke, we're happy to tell you what to think by banning books, calling people's names, etc., etc., etc. Your dark sarcasm in the classroom, or at those terrible rallies with that ever-decreasing attendance. Hey, teacher, leave those kids alone. And why is it that so many members of your party turn out to be child molesters or sex offenders? With apologies to the wall by Pink Floyd. I don't normally like to quote Pink Floyd because its lead singer, Roger Waters, is anti-Semitic, but it seems to make sense when writing about the many anti-Semites behind Project 2025. That's another story for another time, so let's move on. The other reason to quote it is because so much of this document is like a Lego set for autocrats. First, they put down a layer of yellow bricks in the form of their version of history, which mostly jibes with reality. Next, there's a couple of layers of red bricks that manufacture what they see as a crisis that must be dealt with. Then they add a thin layer of blue bricks, symbolizing the solution that is both crystal clear, like the blue sky, and wrong at the same time. The rest of the wall is all white, not only representing the solution that the Heritage Foundation has come up with, but also the color of the people they believe should be implementing it. What's the old H.L. Mencken saying? For every complex problem, there is an answer that is clear, simple, and wrong. That pretty much covers it. Today's focus is the civil service workforce. Project 2025 says that government workers aren't that great because there's no way to test them to tell if they're good before you hire them. They're not all that responsive once they are hired. There's no incentive for them to do better, and they're hard to discipline or fire because they belong to unions, and the appeals process on a firing or negative consequence can drag on for years. Okay, a lot of people are with Heritage at this point. And then 2025 goes on to say they're paid too much, they get too much time off, and they have too many benefits. What's even worse is that they get to stick around and do their jobs even after the president loses his. You know what? It's all true. What's also true is that because these functionaries know how things work in the machinery that keeps the government running, they aren't beholden to the president, and they don't see achieving the latest president's goals as job one. Instead, they are more interested in getting the job done. And one of their favorite sayings may well be, "We've always done it this way." Imagine that IT worker you hate because he has no people skills, but you go to him anyways because he's always right. It's like that. That drives Heritage cray-cray because they want to get rid of him even if the person they want to replace him with doesn't know jack shit about the computer system they need to run. All they care about is whether or not the IT person's replacement is loyal to the president and wants to help said president achieve their goals, no matter how nefarious they are. So you pretty much already get the idea of what the Heritage Foundation wants to do with hiring. Mostly. Here's the plan. 1. Eliminate the PITA IT guy. In this case, PITA stands for pain in the ass. So their starting point is that they want to cut jobs wherever possible to reduce government spending. So, bye-bye, PITA guy. But they're not doing it just to get rid of him, to save bucks. 2, eliminate the opposition. As I said before, the thing that they hate about PITA guy is that he's independent, understands the rules, and just may get in the way of some of their plans. So, they need to get rid of professional level staffers who might not support the conservative agenda. We can rebuild him. Number 2, we can rebuild him. We can make him better. Better is a relative term, of course, and depends on your perspective. Once the professionals and the holdovers are pushed out, a cabinet-level personnel management officer would help the president decide who to fire and who to hire. The result would be installation of a cadre of loyalist decision-makers who would remove obstacles to the conservative agenda. The change in the president's appointment power would also limit Congress's ability to oppose or oversee the nominees for particular jobs. Okay, I know. This is deadly dull. But, that's how Heritage plans to get this through. They want to bore you to sleep so you aren't paying attention. Number 3, we'll turn this country right around. You'd think that if the Conservatives got the types of loyalists they preferred, they would love them and protect them and treat them kindly. Apparently, not so much. Under the new regime, many government protections for workers would just, poof, go away and would favor management rights over the power of organized labor. Despite the dangerous changes, I like to comfort myself by repeating how it could be so much worse. We could always have leprosy. That about covers it. I could say more, but I'm tired and this whole thing has overstimulated me, and not in a good way. And the saga continues. By the way, I hate to sound like Jeb Bush, but when you read my posts, please clap. The more claps I get, the more likely I am to get paid. You can clap up to 50 times, and please leave comments. I love to hear what you're thinking, even if what I'm saying left you madder than a wet hen. I've been David Volk for Chin Music.